When God created man in the garden, he said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness." God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Genesis 1:26-27. Thus we were made in the image of God, and from our bodies we can gain a glimpse of who our God is. So let's learn who God is through the embodiment of the prophecy.
Leaning on the everlasting arms, born of blessedness.
Arms are the upper limbs of the body, with one opposed on the left and the other opposed on the right. For the body of mankind was divided into two when Sarai gave Hagar into her husband's arms. For Sarai said to Abram, "May the wrong done me be upon you. I gave my maid into your arms, but when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her sight. May the Lord judge between you and me." But Abram said to Sarai, "Behold, your maid is in your power. Do to her what is good in your sight." So Sarai treated her harshly, and she fled from her presence. Genesis 16:1-6. And the Hebrew word for arm is zerah, which means strength. And the Father gave Israel his strength. The eternal God is a dwelling place, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he drove out the enemy from before you and said, "Destroy." Deuteronomy 33:27. And the Father armed Israel in the desert. Moses spoke to the people, saying, "Arm men from among you for the war, that they may go against Midian to execute the Lord's vengeance on Midian. 1,000 from each tribe of all the tribes of Israel you shall send to the war." So there were furnished from the thousands of Israel 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed for war. Numbers 31:2-5. And the Lord armed Israel to conquer and inherit the land. So Joshua said to them, "Go forward and march around the city, and let the armed men go on before the ark of the Lord." They utterly destroyed everything in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep and donkey, with the edge of the sword. Joshua 6. And the plurality of arms is an army. For an army is defined as an organized military force. And though men may be armed as an army, it is God who has the power to smite any army. The army looked down on the army of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and cloud, and brought the army of the Egyptians into confusion. He caused their chariot wheels to swerve, and he made them drive with difficulty. The waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen, even Pharaoh's entire army that had gone into the sea after them. Not even one of them remained. Exodus 14, 24 through 28. And the Lord can strengthen any army. For the Lord gave Gideon's army of just 100 men the power to slaughter 100,000. So Gideon and the 100 men who were with him came to the outskirts of the camp at the beginning of the middle watch, and cried, "A sword! For the Lord and for Gideon!" Each stood in his place around the camp, and all the army ran, crying out as they fled. When they blew 300 trumpets, the Lord set the sword of one against another, even throughout the whole army. And the army fled as far as Bethsheba toward Zerah, as far as the edge of Abel Meholah by Tabith. The men of Israel were summoned from Naphtali and Asher and all Manasseh, and they pursued Midian. Judges 7:19 through 23. And now a summons has been called for the armies to go into battle. The Lord will cause his voice of authority to be heard, and the descending of his arm to be seen in fierce anger, and in the flame of a consuming fire, in cloudbursts, downpour, and hailstones. Isaiah 30:30. And the arms of the wicked shall be broken. For better is the little of the righteous than the abundance of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked will be broken, but the Lord sustains the righteous. Psalms 37:16 through 17. And the righteous shall be raised by God's mighty arm. Behold, the Lord God will come with might, with his arm ruling for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his recompense before him. Like a shepherd he will tend his flock. In his arm he will gather the lambs, and carry them in his bosom. Isaiah 40:11. And at the end all the nations shall see the arm of his salvation. For your God reigns. Listen, your watchmen lift up their voices. They shout joyfully together, for they will see with their own eyes when the Lord restores Zion. Break forth, shout joyfully together, you waste places of Jerusalem, for the Lord has comforted his people. He has redeemed Jerusalem. The Lord has bared his holy arm in the sight of all the nations, that all the ends of the earth may see the salvation of our God.
You raise me up to more than I can be.
Isaiah 52:7 through 10.